Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Midori's Midnight Sessions. It has been a while, people, and I am so glad to be back for another episode. Although, um, as you can see, I am filming from very much a different location, and I am in my room where all of the past episodes of season 1 have been done, including the episodes that were not aired. And I want to tell you something. This will be the final episode of the second season of Midori's Midnight Sessions. And I know it's hard, and 15 episodes was pretty much worth it, but there is a more important message that I would like to tell people. And the past few storylines have been me dealing with this loss that is inevitably hard to not think about because it is a loss so profound that I could not bear even stepping foot in the place that I really used to love to go to like see the people that I want to see every day, and now it just tears me up. And I have talked about this in the past few episodes as well, but earlier today, as of recording this, I went to school because my thesis advisor needed help in getting some papers done, and I told her, I was like, oh, come on, I live nearby, like I could just hitch a ride, and you know but I also knew too well, way too well, that I would be exposing myself to something that I wasn't still very much not prepared to handle. And I was thinking earlier, before I left, about how a year ago I was so eager. I was so eager to like go into this like work on my thesis and try to prove that this is more than this is more than just being ditched. A year ago I was ditched. Although we didn't get to spend much time together, I am forever thankful for mommy to have guided me on the way, even though he did me terribly wrong, and I have since forgiven him about it. But I was at school and I thought, like, wow, I used to go here like practically every day to work on my thesis, to like think about topics, write about my introduction, and now I cannot go there. And I was watching like Law and Order before I recorded this, and a lot And I was like, there was this one part where it was Rollins and Benson, like, just saying that they're happy to meet each other or something like that. And Liv was saying something like, I'll still be here if you want me back. Like, I don't know, that whole scene with just the two of them inside the office, and it hit hard. Really hard. Because there was a part where, like, I can't really stop you from doing what you want. I can only be there to support you. And it's a mirror of, like, how I'm feeling. And I'm still coming to terms with it terribly. And because of that, I haven't done my thesis and my narrative report ever since. It's hard trying to move on from something that I didn't want to end, and like seeing him just carry on, and I am left there with like a trail of breadcrumbs that I am supposed to hold on to, and then falling, like all of these falling apart one by one. And I just watch it being torn apart from me. It's hard. And that's not even to include somebody who was berating me, but I'm like, oh no. I'm not trying to like let them wreck me. And I'm just kind of joking like, I've already been wrecked. I have been an emotional wreck. I just don't like to show it because I am not that person. I do show signs of vulnerability sometimes, but like my joints and profs and my friends have been really rallying me behind, but I am thinking like in the back of my mind, how would Shihaya think? What would he say if, I opened up about me being berated by someone hiding behind an alt account? And I told them jokingly, I told my Johnson professor that I have suffered enough. And that is very much true. I have suffered enough. For these messages to even be something of importance to me. And I was there. I was sitting in that couch and I was looking at him, and he has his back turned on me. And I'm just there, just sitting. Because I know it breaks me still. And I'm having an incredibly hard time trying to piece things through. I'm trying so hard to like make sense of everything that is going on. But it still hurts. Like every time I see him and he doesn't like even bat a wave or a hi or anything. And I'm just there. I am standing there, wanting so hard to like greet him or something. I could not. And I was trying so hard to like keep myself together in that moment of just absolute weakness. And like my thesis advisor was saying to me, like, her birthday last week, and I said to her, I'm sorry I didn't get you a present because I got a present for him for my best friend. But it was his birthday, and I pulled out all the stops. I pulled out all the stops for him. Because I really, really am fond of him. Damn it! And my Joyce professor, before I left, I was telling her about how I've suffered enough, and she was like, why? And I just pointed him to it and said, well, why? And I'm like, you don't need context. You already know. I just said, I don't want to, like, go through the trouble of explaining things again. And so I said, you don't want to hear. I don't want to cry. Because every single time I think about it, and it goes back to me, it breaks my heart. It's like breaking my heart over and over and over again, because I was really that fond of him. I really loved him as a friend, as a teacher, as a mentor, even. Like, one of the last conversations we had was saying that I'm so glad I met you. We never thought we would be that close. We were like basically confiding in each other. I really loved him a lot. They will never know. They will never know how much I adored that man. Like, on a friendly manner of adoration and just pure admiration even. I am just in awe of everything about him. Like, I still think to myself, and I look at that place, and I could never step in it again without feeling like shit every time. And I feel terrible for ending it, okay? But I also know deep in my heart, oh god, he's wanted so bad. I know I should support him. But it still hurts. I don't know if I'll be able to make it up to him. I don't, like, one of the promises that he made to me was that I will graduate. We'll both graduate. And I haven't done my thesis, and that is one of the requirements that is needed for me to graduate, and I couldn't even do it. And I feel like I owe him an apology. That I could not make the promises happen. I owe him an apology. I really do. Because he's about to achieve so many things that he wants to achieve. And I'm just there, trying to make sense of everything. And I've watched I've been on a Law and Order binge lately, and especially Special Victims Unit. I'm definitely Olivia, and he is Elliot Stabler, but not in like the romantic way, like shipping them or something. The way that we have bonded over so much. Although he did inform me about it, but I could. We did bid. We did bid each other goodbye. On one of our last conversations before I decided to block him. I mean, IRL was that I hugged him. And I said, I'll miss these a lot. And I will always be fond of the man. I will always, always, always talk about him in high regards. One of probably the most awesome people I know. Arguably the most awesome person I know. Like the other guys, other people will not come close to what the man has done for me. And he's done a lot in just the short span of 2 years. 2 years. He has come through a lot when I felt so down. And I was doing the same to him, and I feel like for once that I was reciprocated. And I've talked about this in the past. That I've really been a good friend to him, a good little sis. Although annoying. Although I wouldn't say I am good. By all means necessary. And I was bad. I've done a lot of bad stuff, and I'm not going to deny these. But he said to me when, I told him that I have uploaded the entire Jornsem speech last year. You're one of the people that will really, really be real with me. You're the one that kept it real all this time. You did not even care. Just that you were honest with me. And I have never liked being in that place since I don't want to go there anymore. I have to, because, school stuff. But honestly, how ironic is it that the place that I used to frequent on the early days of doing my thesis is now the place that I dread. Because there has been so many memories within the corridors of that building. There's just so much in there. I could still remember the hugs. I could still remember when he tried to chase me once, saying he'll never do it again. I could remember when it was just casual conversations. The first time that I handed him an Idolmaster keychain last year. The first joint consultation that I had with my thesis advisor and my technical critic, and he was in there. And it felt like I was sandwiched between him and my technical critic. And then my thesis advisor was sitting in front of me. I remember those. And the conversations that we have inside that faculty room. And we were just like casually talking. And the other guys didn't even give a damn. Because we were that close. I know I should have to beat myself over it. Every time I see him, it just comes in flashbacks after flashbacks after flashbacks after flashbacks. And I am left there to deal with everything. I'm supposed to be a class representative. I'm supposed to be a student. I'm supposed to be, you know, like, something I could not pretend. Because if I do pretend, it would feel like it's not me. That I am not being myself. And I have always been on the forefront of wanting to show who I am. Even if I look goofy, even if I look like an idiot, I do not care. And I have a lot of insecurities, but I do not let that degrade me into becoming a recluse. Because I've always wanted to free myself from the cage. How heartbreaking is it? And my best friend is fully aware of this. And I will always call him my best friend. I will always call him my best friend no matter what other people say to me. He's the best friend I could probably ever have. By a wide margin. And every time I think of him, I see him, I hear about him, it will hurt. Definitely. What more if that day of the journalism seminar comes? I'm gonna be mostly at the backstage. And I am going to be the guy that cannot fulfill her promises. The girl who cannot fulfill the promise that she made with her best friend. While said best friend is about to fulfill that said promise. I know I'm not trying to like pretend that everything's okay. I have been on a burnout these past few months, and things have been really overwhelming for me that I am honestly on the verge of stepping down as the class representative of our section. But I know the guys wouldn't let me do that. They think I'm doing just fine. But honestly, I'm not so sure about that. I actually didn't want to go earlier, but I was the nearest. I was the nearest person that could go. I lived nearby. I could just hitch a ride, and in 15-20 minutes I'll be there. And actually, I was trying to hold back my emotions, even yesterday, even last week. I am trying to hold back my emotions every time I'm at school. Because I know he's doing just fine, and I'm still there, like, I haven't moved on. But this is the exact same place I was in a year ago. I could not move on, and so I was trying to pressure drown myself into thinking that I would be able to do a lot of things. I would be able to work on the first chapters of my thesis and everything. But it's the exact opposite now. It's the fact that I could not be like that. For the most part, I think it's because we were never close. Mommy and I were never close in the first place. In a way, he was just like a stepping stone. But him? He was there. He knew of the breakdown that I had. He was surprised when he learned of me being ditched. And he supported me throughout the entire ordeal. Even when I was making jokes about it, even when we were making jokes about it, when in reality, it hurt the hell out of me for months at a time. And I thought, how lucky are the other guys having him as thesis advisor. He was there to guide them through it, and I ended up with somebody who has been like somebody distant to me from the very beginning. And I told her about all this before. And I never really wanted to, but I had to. I never really wanted to be open with her because I know she's dealing with a lot of things herself. I just wanted to let it out. And I was so scared that, she wouldn't be so accepting with it. She is. But I just knew there was a rift. And she was telling me how much she appreciated the chocolate I gave her because it was her birthday last week and I could not give her anything. And I told her, oh, it's, I could not get you a present last week. But in reality, I kind of missed giving something to my best friend, mostly at random occasions. The last thing I gave him was chocolate. It was chocolate with a note about how incredibly proud I am that he has achieved so much. And I was even crying outside. I just could not show it to Makoto at the time, but I was crying. I was like, tears were forming from my eyes. I just could not show it. Even at school, I could not contain how heartbroken I was. And I still think to the time when he said, oh, I'm gonna email you, because I know you're still heartbroken over it. I am very much. I just don't like to show it, but I am very much. They still, like, my classmates still ask me about my best friend, even when we don't talk anymore. Like, they ask me, oh, is he here today? Maybe you could check. I was like, maybe I could check. And actually, a few weeks ago, like, there was an activity on our cognate subject where it asked, what does the word meaning mean to you? And I wrote this. Flashbacks from a time now in my past come flooding to me as I write this. When I think about it, I am left with fond memories. And at the same time, I'm left searching for new reasons to live. It seems my constant search to find that meaning has run its course when things went awry between us. I skip my own songs whenever it plays, because I am reminded of a time where he is an omnipresent being in the conceiving of arguably my magnum opus. He played a big part in me in cheering me up when I got ditched by my thesis advisor, when I felt down and ostracized by my fellow batchmates during my internship. And he was there when I wanted to talk after a hard day's work, offering a listening ear every time. It hurt that I suddenly have to pick up the pieces and cheer myself up and seal the one part of my life that I never wanted to seal. This is the plague that has begun consuming me as the year began. And in turn, the mark towards my 23 years of existence. I lost my best friend and closest confidant because I was too insecure and clingy towards a person that felt like it was the punching bag to an annoying blabbermouth. I know he doesn't think that way, and he will probably try to reassure me so. But I know he is busy finding his own meaning too, as we all are. I'll just never bother him ever again. I will always miss his presence dearly and root for him, no matter what he does in life. Because as the legendary toy once said, remember that I was once by your side. That was just a portion of what I wrote in that essay. And when that question came up, I immediately thought of him. And I was trying to hold back my tears as I wrote the words to the essay, so much so that I had to just pace myself and calm myself down, writing it on my phone. And thank God my professor spared me from reading it to her and another former professor of mine, who I really adore as well, and are friends of my best friend. And I finished it 5 minutes before class ended. And I don't know if I'm ever going to give him that paper. But I don't know if my cognate professor will probably ever show him that essay. I hope she doesn't. But honestly, it hasn't been the same since. And it will probably never, ever be the same again. And that's it for the final episode of Midori's Midnight Sessions Season 2. Thank you so much for all the love and support you have given this podcast. For all the trials and the turmoils, the journey of coming to terms with something that I never wanted to close. And the fact that this podcast that I really love is now coming to an end, but not just an end. I don't know when I will be back for another season, but I hope that when I do, it's not as heartbreaking as this. And it has been a year since I wrote all these songs, and I hate hearing it now. But still, thank you to all who have been instrumental in the journey of making it. Especially to my best friend who has seen everything. And including this podcast as well. Thank you so much for being here since December. And I hope you have all a great time and a great journey ahead of you. I'll see you next time for another episode, or maybe not. But I will see you soon. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.